Thank you for coming. One of the main reasons for coming and opening the hub is because the team of Preston North End, who have together collected an amount of money which is enormous to help this building on its way. They bought and will have bought the Wheelies for Christmas draw, which is a car, a moped, a lady's bike, a man's bike, a child's bike, and none other than a Silver Cross Pram. And somebody will be lucky, one winner out of it. The tickets are £2 and they go on sale immediately after we have opened this building. And to the Prestos of Preston, may I say a big thank you on behalf of everybody at Rainbow House, because it's magnificent what we've had you help me with. Thank you. How did it come about? Well, a young lady called Hayley Scholes, who's hiding somewhere at the back. Hayley Scholes said to a lady called Nicola Parkinson, who's better known as a Preston supporter each week, somewhere. They approached me because they knew I did a lot with charities. My charity currently, as you know, is a carers charity, to which I've worked with Carole Cochrane, to whom I'll introduce in a few minutes, for now 15 or 16 years. And in that charity in the Northwest, we raised for carers about £8 million, which is an enormous amount of money. And I'm one of their vice presidents. And Carol is still under her books, and you're known as? An ambassador. I can't spell it, but you call ambassador. But ambassador she remains. And when I was met by the young Nicola, they said, could I come and have a look, because they were a bit worried, as the girls here and this particular buildings at Rainbow House were all going on reduced pay. And the building, to which was then nothing like it is today, you needed £110,000 worth of work, no car park, the buildings were way from finished, and they had no money in the pot. So I went back to having come along and had a look and seen some of the things that you would have seen yourselves today, some unfortunate children in this world, and many of them are here. I decided that I'd go back to our board and see what I could do. Our board consists of, John Kay, who is Chief Executive Preston, and of course Catherine Ribbett, who bosses us all around, who's the head of our group. With their help, we and the boys in Northern Trust, they raised the £110,000 to finish the building, and therefore, although we haven't paid everybody yet, but the money is there to pay everybody. And so we need a big thank you to all those people who helped me finish the building, before Carol mentions all those that took the building from zero to where we arrived. But at least we worked and finished the building. And we're delighted to do so. We also decided to take a board of an interest at their request. So Carole Cochrane, who had been Chief Executive of Carers United Kingdom, which includes Crossroads, which is massive, coming to her crossroads in life, and living down the road at Tarleton, I thought it would be a good idea if she didn't waste her energies going to London and back on a regular basis, and she used them here. Hence, she is here, full-time for 3 years. Well, that's nice, I thought. That's number one. We need a chairperson, and having spoken to Mr Anderson, who introduced me, we decided to look for someone who could be here more regular, because he has a full-time job. And that lady is Pauline Clare, who was the first Chief Constable of Lancashire in this area, and also lives down the road, but this time towards Parbold. So we have a little circle around everybody. And then we have a trustee who came and called Kevin Abbott. And Kevin's doing treasury, and Kevin, who just learnt he's doing treasury, but he's doing treasury. And he's Preston North End, a finance man. And of course, there's one or two other people, Oh, there's Lynn Darcy, who's a legal lady by practice, just as Catherine Everett had legal law training. But she's actually the managing director of a pub group, where most of my son spends the day, in it. And anyway, they're pubbed about 4... Peter, how many pubs are there?
420.
How many?
420.
I thought you know them. You know them all intimately. Yes. So there's 420 pubs, and of course they're all contributing to all this. Because I'm hoping that Lynn Darcy, who's hoping that I'm not here, but I am, is going to introduce these tickets, and many of them, into the pubs, so that those people in the pubs feel part of this. And if they don't, they will by the time at the end of the first week, because they're going to be contributing towards it. So adding all those things together, it's wonderful that we can support, as it's local to where we are, such a magnificent building and deserving cause. So all together as a team, we've come together and done reasonably well. Now, we're not opening the tape, cutting the tape yet, because that's a job being done by the manager of Preston, Simon Grayson, and the captain of Preston, Tom Clarke. But that'll take place in a few minutes. I will now ask Carole, because you've got a mic, Carole, to step forward.
This is worrying.
Would you like to say a few words? That's enough.
Okay. Someone asked me just now what it's like working with Mr Hemmings. You just hold on to his tailcoat and go for the ride. And I've learned that in 15 years that's the best thing to do. Because whatever, Mr Hemmings delivers. 10 weeks ago, I'd just come back from a week in Morocco, and he said, come and see me. I've got an idea. And he says, I've got a job for you. Well, I've got a job. No, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. I've got a job for you. And he brought me here. And I have to say, who wouldn't want to work here? It's absolutely fantastic. But 10 weeks ago, this was a building site, no car park, and we weren't sure if we'd have the money. And as Mr Hemmings said, the staff had taken a reduction in pay, in salaries. It's not often, actually, you get that from the staff team. So I think, actually, what I'd like is everybody to thank the staff for doing that. And I should also tell you a good tip here, lads. When he found that out, he said, that's not right. They must go back to their full hours and we must pay them. So remember that one, I'm remembering that one. He also told me it'd be 6 months and I've just heard 3 years, so that's different. But it is a fantastic facility. I have to tell you, I've worked with carers for 25 years. And a lot of those carers will be parent carers, but you're working with the carers and you're working at a national level. Here, you come into work, you see the children, you see the parents, you talk to the parents. Parents will come in with a contribution because they've had a garden party. And they come in with cakes and biscuits and cheese straws. It's absolutely fantastic. And money. And the children that beam at you every time you walk down. It's absolutely great. So it's a fantastic facility, but there are people we need to thank. I mean, a big thank you to all the builders that got their arms twisted to come in and finish, thank you. And most of them I know from Carers Trust Day. I've noticed they're all covering their pockets. I don't know why, but I will be round for contributions. I think we have to thank the neighbours, because actually we're quite a noisy lot at times. So I think if there are any neighbours here, apologies, but we're not going to stop making noise because that's what the children need. There are people, the council. Planning department's not always easy, roadwork's even worse, but actually we have to, in full fairness, be polite and say thank you, and please work with us to get everything else finished. When you go in the building, you'll see there's fantastic flooring. That's been donated. We've had lots of things. We've had Peter Dickinson Architects, we've had John Birchall Builders, we've had WH Goods supplied the electrics. A lot of these are pro bono. We haven't paid, it's made it work. Preston's Fire and Security. We've had CQ, I said about the floor coverings. I think most of all I'd like to thank the children and the parents for their patience. Because they thought they were coming back in September and we had to write and say, sorry, we're not going to be ready till October. And actually, for parents, that meant another month of having to go without this service. And I know that this service makes a real big difference to their lives. So a big thank you to the parents for bearing with us, for the staff. But I'd actually really like to thank Mr Hemmings, because if it hadn't been for Mr Hemmings and his children's inheritance, we wouldn't be opening this building today. So thank you to all the children who are not going to get their inheritance. And a big thanks to Mr Hemmings.
I'm delighted. This lady's a carer, but she also works here. Her name is Karen. Karen's going to just give you a little insight into what her life's been like. All right, Karen.
Hello. My son Chris is here today, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing his story with you. When he was 17 and a half, he was knocked down by a taxi. That night we were told he wouldn't be expected to live, and the next day he was still with us, and he remained in a coma, a waking coma, for 6.5 months. 2 days after his 18th birthday, he woke up, and we only knew he was awake by some very slight eye movement. Following that, the movement was very, very slow, very delayed, and it just seemed to take forever to get anywhere. He underwent intensive rehabilitation for years after that. Quite intense rehabilitation for 5 years, and then he was discharged by the Brain Injury Rehabilitation Trust, who said they couldn't do any more for him. He was then assigned to the brain injury team, who were community based in Coppell. They worked with him doing physio and speech therapy, and after 10 years following the injury, we were told that the brain had recovered as much as it possibly could, and that Chris would never walk and never talk. In January 2012, Chris had the opportunity of coming here to the adult class, and he started in January, and the conductive staff who worked with him have now got him walking with sticks. His speech has improved. Everything's improved, to be honest with you. His balance, everything. And I just can't thank this charity enough. They do amazing work, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the parents, and we'd like to thank Mr Hemmings for what he's done for the charity, and I'm sure Chris would like to thank him as well.